Okay, so you said you loved Haverty Grace?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I came from a real country, and this was like town to me.
That was like city?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, our first trip to up Route 40, all the lights and trucks, and it was so exciting.
Route 40 was exciting?
Route 40
Is that
and
attraction?
Haverty Grace was like a, I mean...
Oh, yeah, from where you're from,
Right.
yeah.
Never seen trucks before.
I know, first time I saw a truck with the smoke coming out, I thought it was on fire.
Probably airplanes, too, because that's something you still, to this day, don't see much of flying over Mama's house.
You don't really, and here playing, everybody would run out to look at it.
I did that when I was when I was a grown-up in North Carolina.
Yeah, because you don't see it.
And they had the gliders that would go over, and they were...
Yeah, Dad, have you ever been out of the country?
No.
Have you ever been to Canada?
Yes, we went to Canada. We
Just
just
barely.
crossed over the line.
Okay, well that's out of the country.
Yes.
So you could say you did.
Right. You been to Mexico? No?
No.
I remember Dad has been to California. He went to California back when we were kids because
Right.
you would go there for work. You had to go
Like
to California a
conventions.
couple times.
I did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you went to conventions. And I
And
remember
Nevada.
you went to Vegas. You guys went
Uh-huh.
from Vegas conventions.
And you always bring Mom back a little China bird. Remember, Mom? You remember those birds you used to have?
Yep.
China birds, and you brought me back a piece of silver jewelry once. It was a horse drawing a carriage, and it had a little blue-green chip of something in it. And you brought me back a bookmark, I think, once too, but I just barely remember that.
You would bring us back wings from the airplane.
I didn't get wings. I don't remember. I don't think you guys.
The
probably
pilot, you asked for wings. I remember you brought me back. It was a keychain. It was like Pinocchio or something. It was a little plastic Pinocchio. I remember it being orange and red and black.
From Disneyland.
That must have
Because
been.
he used to go to, that was Disneyland, and he would go to Disneyland sometimes when he was
Right.
there, at least once.
Okay, that's where
Disney
I remember the
World.
Pinocchio.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the Pinocchio came from, I guess.
Do you remember the China birds of Mom's?
Yes, I remember, but I remember more. I remember all the birds, and I remember Jamie and John breaking them. And Mom would get so upset, I can't have anything nice. Because they would always play with them. And
I'll block that out of my memory.
Do you remember that, Mom?
I don't remember that, but I do remember that they had wings broke off.
Yeah.
Tips of wings
Right.
and beaks.
It was Jamie and John, as far as I remember. 'Cause I remember her saying, getting so upset.
I love my birds.
Yeah.
Do I have on any lipstick, Kim?
Yeah.
I've lived my lips, they're so dry.
And then Kim was born and you moved to Edgewood
When she was 8 months old.
when she was 8 months old. How long did you live there? Did you rent it there?
Yeah, we rented.
Did the apartment have roaches?
Yes.
I'm sure it did. Considering where it was.
Yeah.
While we had a horrific snowstorm while we lived there, and the electricity was up. I think it was 5 days.
Wow.
We had to keep milk and stuff. They had big wide windowsills, and we put the milk outside on the windowsills. And
How'd you keep warm?
almost made you I put you in the bed by yourself the first night in the crib, and we got you up and put you in bed with us. We had the gas stove in the kitchen. That's all the heat we had.
Wow.
And I think some child did freeze to death during that storm.
Huh.
And you would have too if we hadn't.
If you hadn't woke up, if you hadn't been cold and woke up.
No, we put you in bed with us. But I know you'd have been frozen stiff.
Huh.
How long did you live there?
Till we moved here, and we moved here in.
I was under 2 when they
Yeah, it was
moved
just
here.
before we moved here in 58,
What year was Steve born?
59.
Okay, so
And there were 3 houses here, just alike.
Just alike.
ours, Horns, and Miss
Earnshaw's.
Earnshaw's. But who lived there before?
Oh, Steele.
Steele.
Real
Steele. Right.
Yeah, and then
Hittens lived there.
The Hittens lived-
Cheryl Hinton.
Was that
and-
in that house or the following house?
No, it was that house.
She lived there. They lived there before the steal.
You remember
Was the
Hittens?
steal?
I think they rented.
yeah, I'm sure they did.
Who was it? Jean Hinton?
Jean
and
and
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Cheryl was my age, I think. Jean,
I
I
don't
think, may have
remember
been a
that.
year older.
I don't remember that. And you wait, go back a little bit. You went to Ohio on your honeymoon to
See William Wiley.
William Wally.
see. How come?
Well, he didn't ever. Maybe he didn't have the money. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
You drove? I guess you drove.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap place to stay.
Yeah.
yeah, that was it. A cheap place to stay.
Right.
And that's when he wouldn't let me have a nickel.
Well, maybe you guys didn't have a nickel.
Right. It
I'm
sounds like
thinking.
if you're going to Ohio for your honeymoon,
We
you're
need that nickel to get back home.
that's a gallon of gas, maybe.
Right.
You were lucky you were at a restaurant. A diner.
Right.
You all are still taking up for him.
No,
No,
we're just
I
making being
just-
funny. Trying to be funny.
Hey, I'm Dad's daughter. I was raised that way. I'm the same way. I'm that way with Paul.
And did okay? So you moved here, and the house had what? Just 2 bedrooms?
Just 2 bedrooms, and mold was growing
Oh, wow.
halfway up the walls
Oh, really? Was it into
All the
I don't
rooms are-
remember that.
in the bedrooms.
Sort of remember it now.
So were the Horns living here at that time?
They moved here that same year. I don't know if they were. I think they were coming up here for the summers then.
Were these? This was a summer house? Somebody's summer house?
Yeah,
Probably was.
probably so.
Do you remember the heater grate in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hall?
I remember dropping things down there, and then you'd have to go down and
I remember that too.
open up a big metal thing and get it.
I just remember being scared to walk across it.
I remember that you guys, the switch that controlled the furnace, I thought the house would blow up if I ever touched that switch. I
kind of
seriously was
remember
like,
that, too.
oh, the red switch! Stay away from the red switch. When we moved into my house, I said, oh, it has a red switch. Oh.
How much did this house cost?
10,250.
Yeah. How did you pay for it?
Grandmother loaned him the money.
Yeah.
Did you have to pay her
I
back?
don't remember.
Huh?
Did you guys pay her back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you?
every
Why
month.
did you move to this neighborhood? Were you looking for waterfront? Did it just happen to be waterfront?
Jack, I
Waterfront.
suppose, was
Yeah.
looking for waterfront.
And there we almost bought a house over on the other street.
Yeah,
And-
on where couches
well,
and them live over there.
I wanted the other place.
I know, and I was working for a contractor then.
Black-
Oh, you were
Blackstone,
working for a
Blackwell,
contractor.
somebody.
Yeah.
So
and,
you weren't teaching then?
It was summer.
well,
Summer.
Oh, okay.
summertime.
Okay.
And had him come down and look at this place
Uh-huh.
and this place, and he said, well, in my opinion, this is worth more money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I loved the other place.
What was it? Where was the
I
other?
hated. I didn't like this place from the
Really?
get-go.
No.
What was better about the other place?
I
It
guess
had French doors. I remember that's what I remember.
lot.
It was just really neat. I don't remember much about it except.
Do you remember the lot or the water, the kind of water? I mean, well, it was over there on the water also, right?
Where is it? Where's over there? I don't know where over there
I
is.
think on straight across the field.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So on Baker Avenue over there.
Yeah.
Was it that house that John and Jamie's friend McGowan moved into and fixed all up and everything on the water over there? Because I think maybe it was. It had an upstairs, the downstairs.
I can't remember. It didn't have a basement at that time. And
Uh-huh.
somebody, whoever lived there,
Dug a basement.
yeah, they propped it up and put a basement under it.
Yeah, I think that may be. Yeah, so the ground floor was the basement. You didn't have to. It wasn't underground, right?
No, that was.
I
Just
think
the
that
bottom
was
floor.
John and Jamie's
I don't know.
friend's father turned that into a really nice place eventually.
So the contractor said this was a better house.
I agree.
And it
Better
had-
for the money.
That
I
was a
think.
living room and a dining room in there, where
Yeah.
the dining room is, and tiny little place.
I remember the wall in between that you got. Do you remember, Dad? The wall in between
The living room and
the living
dining
room and dining room there. That was just a wall with a doorway. I think on this side. I believe the doorway was on this side of the house.
Huh?
It
No.
had a wasn't a door, but just a doorway It was.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a full wall or just a partial. I mean, I don't know if the wall came all the way across or if it was just came part way across.
It had an
Remember?
opening there for
Okay, just a doorway sized opening,
a
No,
little
or
bit
was
bigger.
it bigger?
It was bigger than
Uh-huh.
that. And he said, if I didn't want to buy the place, I didn't want it all. He said, I promise you that in 2 years, if you don't like it, we'll move.
And they still haven't moved.
Well,
54 years ago.
you still don't like it.
I kept adding on to it, Bobby. You should like that.
Do you like it now?
Here, lean the other way, Dad.
Toward Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dad, when did you learn how to do all the construction stuff, the carpentry and that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I sort of just knew how to do that.
I mean,
I thought men were just born knowing how to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
It's industrial arts. That's part of it.
and you work summer jobs doing construction,
Yes,
or during school.
yes.
I mean, how long before you guys started making improvements on this house when you lived here? I mean, what was the first thing you did? Do you remember?
Probably took that wall down in there. Made a big room.
I don't think that was for. We fit the kitchen entrance to the place was through a little old
Porch.
porch.
And it slanted.
Right, it was, and so we tore that off and started back there. I think.
Right, built on that part of the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then, so the things you've done, you've also built your bedroom on,
Yes.
back there,
Carport.
the carport, built this room, tore the wall out, built this room on, built a section
Oh, the
to
back-
this
that
back
bedroom,
bedroom,
right.
Right.
that bedroom on,
And the patio.
in the patio. And, if I'm not mistaken, and dug out the basement.
Right. Half
Underneath.
of the basement where the pool table is. That was.
You dug that out and
That took a long time.
poured concrete down there.
Did you help dig it out?
Yeah. I remember
Shoveled it out
coming
the
home.
window,
Yeah,
didn't
shovel
you?
it out the window.
Oh yeah.
And then we'd load it in the back of that old pickup truck and back it down. and then shovel it out of the pickup truck.
Shoo-wee.
Where did you shovel
What a
it out?
job.
On the bank?
Over the bank, over like between us and the horns.
Created more land. That's where all those bushes and trees are growing
I
now.
remember before we would go down and shoot our BB guns in the basement, shoot little army men with their BB guns.
Let's see. I remember some of the furniture that they had back then.
I remember the,
Blonde. That's when the blonde furniture existed.
I remember the blue couch.
Blue couch, huh?
It was kind of ultra modern.
Yes, everything. Jack loved modern.
remember.
I like that too.
That's
I still like that.
because he's an architect kind of person, and they all love modern stuff.
We had a sofa built in right here.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, I
sofa
remember
built
the
in
sofa.
there.
Do you remember Paul in the summer or in the winter times taking the cushions off and put a piece of plywood down and run the trains on it? Set the trains on.
Is that where the trains would go there?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
Also, I think
remember
maybe
either.
downstairs on the pool table eventually.
yeah.
But I remember putting that you guys would take off the cushions, put a piece of plywood down on that base, and that's where the trains went.
Okay.
was good.
do
I
you-
remember that light that used to come.
Oh yeah, you had
You
a pull
you
right
pulled it-
there. You had a
right.
pull down
And
light,
pull down light.
like
Debbie-
the Jetsons.
Right.
I love
Debbie
that.
had given us that
Huh?
light. Debbie gave us that light.
Debbie
Who?
who?
Debbie Cooney.
No, this was a long
This
time
was back
ago.
when we were kids.
That was a different one. I know which
It
one
looked
you're
like a
talking about. I believe.
spaceship. It looked like a
yeah,
flying
it was
saucer.
a flying saucer.
It was like
It was
gold
like
on
a
the
disc.
top, and we would you pull down
It
like
was
on
on
a
kind of a thick
pulley or
cord,
something.
and you just grab it and
And
pull
pull
it
it
down.
down.
And when I think you just pushed it when you
Yeah,
wanted it to
right.
go up.
Oh, I wish we still had
It
that.
was
It was
cool.
really neat.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it lasted because we used to swing it.
Oh man.
Turn it all the way.
Let's see. What can we ask?
Well, okay. So, when did you learn how to drive? Who taught you to drive?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Your dad. We go down to school parking lot and he would teach me.
And when was that? Before Kim was born?
No. Kim was 6 years old or
Oh,
so.
really?
She used to. Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember when
Before
I
I drove around by myself.
was teaching her how to drive, Kim?
Huh?
Do you remember
When he
Mom
brought
learning
those
how to
cars
drive?
home, the Corvair. And
You know, it
You got a Corvair?
sounds vaguely.
he brought it home, but
Vaguely
We heard so many
familiar.
tales about how
About
easily
having the
they
motor in the back.
they
or
turned
in the back
over
instead
that
of the
we,
front, right.
I don't remember.
something he could get, cars they were trading in at school or something.
Yeah.
So he ended up bringing home that Ford Falcon.
Yeah. Did you like that car?
Yeah. But I was scared.
What color
I was so
was
scared
it?
to drive.
White.
Yep.
You were scared?
To drive, yeah.
How long before you got used to it?
I don't know. I used to have to take him to music lessons, and I just dreaded it.
Where would she go to piano lessons? Up there near Hamilton Park?
Yeah.
In one of those old houses up there.
It wasn't an old house. It was there at that church.
Oh, I thought it
In that
And
area.
you were, when did you start feeling comfortable to drive?
Gosh, I don't know. I still don't. I did for a long time, and then I don't anymore.
Now you don't anymore?
I've been on where I'm driving, whether I
Do you remember that old Model A pickup truck you had, Dad?
It was pink, wasn't it?
It was pink. It was maroon. Well, it was. I don't know. I don't think it was pink. It was maroon.
I
Or,
sort of remember.
it was. It was a Model A that somebody had made. It turned it into a pickup truck.
Oh, yes. I
think.
just barely remember it.
I feel like I remember an old, I guess it was a pickup truck that was kind of Pepto-Bismol colored. Pepto-Bismol.
No,
Pepto-Bismol.
that's pink, right?
Bismarck.
Yeah.
No, I remember the '48 Ford.
Bismarck, I think.
I remember. You remember the '48 Ford?
What color was it?
It was maroon.
Yes. Vaguely.
See, I don't remember these things.
You don't remember that? It sat in the carport for forever. I remember it had a dent from
Dad
a
had a thing about
basketball.
maroon. Remember the Corvette?
Had
Yeah.
what?
What color was
on it?
that?
It
Maroon?
had a dent in it, a round dent from we were playing basketball on it.
Oh, gosh.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah.
You remember the maroon Corvette,
Yeah,
too?
remember the maroon Corvette. How do you remember your maroon Nova?
Yes. Did you know that, were you here once when Steve talked about when Dad and Mom went someplace and he would drive the Corvette to school?
No.
He said he drove it to school. I think that he said that he drove it up to the little store and ran into the wall or the
no,
door
he ran
or
into
something.
the door. The door was propped out, and he.
Oh, is that what happened?
And I think he had to beg the guy not to tell Dad.
The things our kids do and we don't know.
Anything else you guys can remember to talk about before we get on just to Mom's story?
No, let's go on to Mom.
I can't remember anything. I mean, I know there's so much. People used to come down and go swimming and boat and skiing and
Yeah.
things, but that's nothing. You all
Oh, you
remember.
guys were. You had a lot of friends from Dad that Dad worked with from the Board of Education, the Cutrights. I'm assuming that's where they were from, and
Edwards is.
oh yeah,
Cheeks.
the Cheeks,
And
Swindells. Where were they from?
Haverty Grace.
Just friends from Haverty Grace, not from the Board of Education.
No, they were just from Haverty Grace. See, I knew Richard and before you. That's one of the friends that I had before you.
Well, who had the Esso station up on Route 40?
Blaine Edwards.
Blaine.
Where's that?
It was on Route 40 near maybe
No.
where the Harford Rental is.
Oh, okay.
No, Blaine had the gas station at the corner of
Full
Main Street and the Route 22 that got to
Huh.
Aberdeen.
Hello. Hello.
I'm thinking of.
Hey. Anybody see a black diaper bag
Well,
over here? We haven't seen it.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
know
You see it?
her bag from anybody else's.
Devin's looking for it now.
Is that Diane?
Yeah.
Tell her Eli's boots are at my house.
Eli's boots are at Kim's house. Eli's boots are at Kim's house. Boots? Okay.
Ray boots.
No, probably that too. Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
And
Was Blaine, did he work for the Board of Education? Or?
No,
was-
we just knew him.
he had school buses.
Oh, okay.
School
bus.
buses, yeah.
Now, when did you become, now you went from teaching industrial arts at Edgewood to become an assistant principal, right?
No.
No.
You weren't assistant principal at Edgewood?
Are you in there, Shawnee?
No.
I think you were.
I maybe for a couple weeks or something. but
Yeah.
Wasn't long.
For some,
Hardly long enough to count.
do
Go
you
ahead.
remember? Do you remember you were when you were in Edgewood? You were the sponsor of the National Honor Society.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember when I was in high school, they were going to name it the John Cooney Honor Society because you were the first sponsor. They didn't ended up doing it, but that was one of the considerations.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know if I ever told you that. And then, so you went from being industrial arts teacher to going into the transportation department? the
Yes, yeah, I guess it was the transportation. And, well, moved into maintenance and that stuff.
How'd you do that? I
I don't know, somebody looked at me and the guy was leaving that was in charge of that.
yeah.
And they said, that Cooney guy.
Yeah.
And then you went into the construction part of it, or
Yeah.
the buses? First, you were buses, right? Or were you in the trans?
He was in buses.
Was I?
Yes, don't you remember? You'd have to get up in the morning.
I remember that you'd have sometimes, I think you made the determination on whether it be school or not or something.
Yeah. Steve was saying that. I don't remember that.
I'd
Well,
have to get up in the morning at
I'd
4
have to-
o'clock and go out and see
Right,
if the
but-
roads were slick.
But that wasn't, I was just an by job.
That was
No,
just,
you were.
That wasn't his daily that wasn't part of his
No,
daily,
the-
that was just like extra duties that you
Yeah.
were doing.
What did you have to do with the buses?
you were well, when you did the bus. You were
Well,
because you worked for Howard at one point, didn't you? Was Howard your boss?
can't remember. Was it?
Howard's one that helped you.
Oh, yeah, help me get on up there.
But I think you said later, one of your jobs up there, you said that although you didn't have a master's at the time, you said that it later required a master's degree, but you had you worked there and you got on anyway.
I don't remember.
And I remember you were taking.
I didn't have a master's.
You did go to Millersville to
I know you got part of your
I
master's
think
hours,
you
but
got
I
a
don't
master's
think.
equivalency or something, or
Something like that, I
something
guess.
like that, because that's what it required.
Because they needed somebody to fill this position, and they forget that.
Okay. Dad, Mom, do you want to do it? Do you want Dad sitting there when we ask you questions, or do you
I
want
don't care.
Dad? Do you want to sit there when we ask Mom questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me stop this, and I'm going to start it again.